And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey there, Gundam fans. Phoenix Destiny here, and my buddy here as always. Go ahead and say hi. Yeah, the first few seconds are pretty much a test. I think. I don't know if it's going to immediately pick it up, but hopefully this will work. Let's see. Wait, what? Is not is nothing coming through? Sorry, looks like you got to switch to PlayStation. Oh wait, that's right. I was supposed to get the. Hmm. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. My co-host is going to be back because apparently, for whatever reason, when I do a broadcast off a PlayStation, the Discord chat cannot pick up the audio. Ugh, there's always a snag somewhere. I mean, technically, I could do this. I could do this by myself, but, I don't mind having a co-host. Let's see. At any rate, I'm getting the 3 suits for today's topic. Just give me a second. And let's see. Go to Z for. Actually. Wait. Where's the. Wait, actually, you know what? There we go. Got the 3 suits. Okay, let's see. First up. Wait, what? Oh, right. No skills there. Take that off because I was experimenting with the build earlier. Excuse me for a moment while I get this stressed up. let's see. Okay, I think I got all of the weapons associated with it. Yeah, I think I got everything associated with it. No, I'll wait till my co-host gets here. Which, I guess honestly, I could talk about some other suits while I'm waiting, although that wasn't exactly how I was planning on doing this mobile suit corner today. And all I'm going to say is, it's just really because while I could do this by myself, I usually like doing things with my co-host, and he's been on a bit of a Wildlands kick today for Monster Hunter. Okay. Let's see. I'll just save this. I'll just leave it as blank. What? Okay, I have to put something in, okay, so I can't just leave it blank. Fine then. ... There. Even though it doesn't really matter for the most part. Let's see, let me check. I'm still in the air. But, let me see. So what other suits could I talk about? Oh, actually, I guess I could just talk about how I plan on doing some of the future mobile suit corners. The only reason I bring it up like that is because today's mobile suit corner is going to be a little unique in the fact that, yes, I am still going to be talking about the mobile suits themselves, but if there's a piece of history in Gundam usually shared with a particular mobile suit I'm going to be talking about, or one down the line, then I am going to share it. Though this really only applies with Universal Century. And it'll make a lot more sense once I do the eventual mobile suit corner down the line. But no, for today's mobile suit corner, that big fact of history I'm going to share about the whole changed fate, I'm basically referring to the episode A Cosmic Glow from the anime. For those that watched the original, you would think, it's just any other episode, and it's pretty much in the closing stages of the original Gundam anime, but no, A Cosmic Glow was important because it was essentially the episode that changed a rivalry pretty much for the worse down the line in the history, specifically between Amuro and Char. And what do I mean by that? Well, somewhere down the line after the Battle of Solomon and after Amuro manages to finish off the Big Zam, both him and the Federation starts hearing a mysterious voice calling out... I'm sorry, what? Oh.
Holy shit! Do you have your notifications turned off?
No, it's just... forget it. I just had a stupid moment. I just had a stupid moment. I will
messaging you on Discord here and in your damn chat. Do you not have your chat turned on?
Ace, keep the chatter clean, man. I get that I get that I was doing a montage of me building the mobile suit, but come on, man.
That's not the point. I've been sitting here trying to get your attention like the party's open, the party's open.
Look, everybody gets one each day, okay? I'm pretty sure you have your little screw up too that's going to happen at some point.
Oh, admit it, you have your fucking notification turned off when you stream, admit it.
At any rate, let's move on to the 3 suits for today.
Yay, I get to be riled up while we talk to this because of this crap. Okay.
Okay, so starting off with the first mobile suit that you see here, the Gyan. Now, in the later stages of the 1 Year War, specifically after the Battle of Solomon, things are pretty much gearing towards a close. And during one of the missions that White Base had, it just so happened to go to an abandoned colony known as the Colony of Loom. For those of you that are veterans of the Gundam series, you will know that that's the same colony that was particularly infamous for giving Char his rise to fame for ship kills. But anyways, the reason why this is important is because of all of the people within Zeong, he fancies himself a tactician, and he also was there during the Battle of Odessa, but then he fled kind of like the little chicken, kind of like the chicken neck that he is, Makuve. The Gyan is the personal suit of Makuve, and he tried to use it to fight the Gundam, but he lost majorly.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. This guy is one of the biggest reasons why Zeong lost the war. He put way too much faith in this guy. He screwed over one of their ace pilots because he was afraid he was gonna find out about his illegal mining operations. And then he designed a suit that just does not serve any real purpose in a fight. A dueling suit sounds okay when you think about it, but when put in actual practice against suits of actual beam weaponry, unless the Gyan could go faster than any other mobile suit, a close quarters only suit is just gonna die. Speaking of death,
the funny thing about that though, Ace, keep those exact words in mind for when we do a certain after colony suit down the line.
Yeah, don't get me started. Speaking of death, by the way, Bandai of Sunrise apparently can't decide how they want this guy to die because he's had 3 retcons to his death.
But
one says he died during the Battle of Odessa. The other says he died in Texas Colony. The other says he died after a Bawaku.
Well, the one that says after Bawaku was likely one of the Japanese games, Garen's Greed, which I have very little knowledge about other than the fact that it's pretty much like the biggest what-if game for a lot of Gundam series.
Actually, the Battle of Bawaku one is the one we're currently going off in terms of canon. Because his Battle of Bawaku is not from the game, it's from the manga. He basically sacrificed himself to help Mineva and her mother escape Bawaku.
Oh, okay. So he actually did something useful. And that's like one out of how many mistakes he's made?
Yeah, he got shot in the back by the ship he was that he was trying to run from in order to act as a decoy.
Oh well. But at any rate, getting back to the mobile suit though, but yeah, the Gyan is indeed meant to be a dueling suit because it doesn't have any ranged weaponry in the conventional sense. Basically, all it just has is the needle missiles. And unfortunately, this game can't show it off, but he also has the capacity to launch hide bombs. Little mines that pretty much do what you would expect.
Yeah, they weren't very useful, not even in the games.
And within the context of the Breaker game, well, again, it's a dueling suit if you just decide to use it straight up. And the thing that makes this beam saber different from other beam sabers, it basically thrusts.
I mean, it's designed as good
kind of like
a
fencing.
Night build suit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it does make for good night builds. I mean, heck, the other day, using some of the parts from the Gyan, I was actually able to make a real type Night Gundam based off of the version from Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3.
Fun fact, I have the high-grade model of the Gyan. I lost one of its hands.
But aside from that, though, this Gyan doesn't have much of a particular history, but somewhere down the line, once I start talking about the other Gyans, like the EOS, for example, I might have a little more to say about it
Uh,
because it's a better suit than this.
I do have another point about the Gyan to bring up, but I'll bring it up when we're talking about one of our other suits today because it involves that suit.
Yeah. So yeah, the Gyan, it's a dueling suit. It does what it does, but honestly, it's kind of boring, much like its owner.
It has interesting variants, especially if you look at the Gears 3 games. But other than that, yeah, the base one is kind of eh.
Not much else to say. Let's move on to the next mobile suit. Okay, let's see. Now, this suit I definitely can talk about. Well, we both can talk about a little more in detail. Because this is the one that a lot of people definitely recognize.
Is it the one I think it is? Because you never told me an order for this.
Well, I just decided to go in order. And it's, of course, the Gelgoog. Or in this case, Char's Gelgoog.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
definitely
my favorite design mobile suit from Zeong.
we definitely have a lot to say about this suit, so let me get it dressed up right quick.
Especially considering the fact that most ace pilots from Zeong use one eventually.
Yeah, the Gelgoog was kind of, well, before I actually get into it, hold on, I gotta make sure it has its skills within the context of that. Okay, there we go. And then, okay, heading to the test field. Okay, so here we are at one of the most iconic suits from Zeong, the Gelgoog. Or more specifically, Char's Gelgoog. All I can say is, right now in this showcase, by the way, this is one of the two reasons why I want to learn the ability to go professional with making my videos, because for this moment, I feel like Here Comes Char would be so appropriate for this segment.
Oh, the best song. What there is it to say about this suit, by the way? It's a suit that, well, mass produced. It's unfortunately took way too long for them to mass produce it, and by the time they didn't have enough skilled pilots to put in them.
And
So,
the thing is, this thing was essentially
wasted.
this thing was essentially supposed to be Zeon's answer to the Gundam. Finally. And the thing is, even the mass production variant of this, it had the potential to do it. It just, they lacked the manpower, because Amro pretty much offed all of their biggest aces, and at the same time, well, Char was really one of the very few Gelgoog pilots that was left that was actually good enough to get the job done. There was also other aces. Yeah, there was all other aces like Johnny Raiden and his high mobility Gelgoog, and the more notable one, who we will talk about his suit once we get to the Stardust Memory Trio, Gato, the Nightmare of Solomon.
Don't forget about Zeon's top ace, whose name unfortunately eludes me right now.
I mean, if we're talking about Shin Matsunaga, he used the Gelgoog Jaeger.
Shin Matsunaga isn't Zeon's top ace. I can't remember the dude's name, but his insignia was an axe that had a bunch of stars on it, and he was mainly known for using mobile suits without customizing them. They were always in their mass production colors.
And that's definitely going to be a pinpoint for later, because I'm actually curious about that myself. But as... No, I don't know the name. I wish I did.
Look up Kakarot's video.
But as far as the Gelgoog itself, or more specifically Char's variant, the only thing that makes this different from the other suits is, like with the Zaku, this suit is supposedly 3 times faster. And honestly, Char managed to give the Gundam a pretty hard time in this mobile suit. Like, he had some real skills in this thing. In fact, a bit of a side fun fact about this thing, you don't use the Hyaku Shiki at all for his original mode in Dynasty Warriors Gundam. You use his Zaku, and you use this thing to close Char's story mode out.
Oh, I remember that. God, I wish they'd let me play those games again. Sorry.
But as far as the part that I was talking about that was unique, Well, this suit was deployed right around the time when it happened. The one singular event that basically changed the fate of both Shar Aznable and Amuro Ray for good. The death of Lala Soon. Basically, sometime after the operation of Solomon was a success, both the Federation and Amuro started hearing a mysterious voice crying, La, La. And every time it happened, there would be a bunch of remote-controlled bits that would just swarm out and just pretty much body any type of weapon that the Federation had at the time, because it was just basically them fighting an unseen enemy, the Elmeth. And in the penultimate battle of the series, at least one of two, Amuro and Char was fighting. Char was, of course, in this suit. Amuro was inside the Gundam, and just when Amuro's about to land the killing blow, Lala takes the blow and gets finished off herself.
At the end of it, both Char and Amuro would blame each other for her death.
And the thing of it is, that one event caused a chain reaction down the line. Not just in Zeta Gundam, but eventually in his own movie. And that's something we will definitely explore in depth later on. But for now, as far as his suit goes, this is a pretty nice suit because, unlike most, unlike most of the Federation weapons, Zeong finally had a beam melee weapon to use of their own, the Naginata. And the one thing I can say about this is it's a pretty cool weapon, and in some games, for whatever reason, you can even just use this thing as a single-bladed Naginata. But as far as the Naginata, it's...
I'm waiting for you to finish your general shit, because I'm going to take over for fun facts when you're done talking about general shit, so I'm just waiting.
Oh, sure. As far as the Naginata itself, well, it's a pretty good combo monster within the context of this game. Has a pretty good string combo, and if you try to do an up attack with it, well, you can basically twirl it, and it gets a lot of combos that way. And the thing that makes this funny is that this will be just one of the fun facts I present. In Dynasty Warriors Gundam, everybody knows about a maneuver that eventual new type Camille Bidon would pull to be able to destroy funnels. And Char does it in Dynasty Warriors Gundam when he faces Hamon's Cubile in this thing, the Beam Confuse. Basically, he throws his Naginata in the air, shoots it with his rifle, and it causes a bunch of shots to spray out.
Yep, and eventually, in this movie, he's coming back in other games like the Versus series.
But aside from that, though, within the context of this game, though, the ranged weapon for the Gelgoog is a beam rifle. Yeah, Zeong were finally able to use beam rifles, and it was a pretty good one, all things considered. Like, even the Dom cannot keep up with this thing in space.
Nope.
And I'd say
the Dom was just a stopgap between the two, between the Zaku and the Gelgoog.
And yeah, as far as suit iconicness go, I mean, again, look no further than Char's Gelgoog. Like, this thing has a lot of fans, me included. Although in my personal opinion, I think my favorite of all of Char's suits was definitely the Zagak.
Just because of the way he used it, and I'm pretty sure the only suit that honestly outranks the Gelgoog and iconicness is the Zaku itself.
True. Very, very true.
Is that all your general information?
The only last fact I can give is also because of the recent Seed movie that came out, we finally managed to get a variant of the Zagak, the Gelgoog, and the Gyan and Cosmic Era.
I still need to build my Gelgoog Menace.
And all I can say is, they look pretty nice. As far as the Cosmic Era redesigns go for Universal Century, they all look pretty good. But Char's Gelgoog, pretty nice suit. Not a bad piece of weaponry. Let's move on to the final suit.
Hey, I want my fun facts. You will
go
not
ahead.
hold me back when it comes to this suit.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I got a few. I'll start off with the topic I was going to bring up earlier. the fact that the fact that the Gyan has something to do with the Gelgoog in this regard. Char's Gelgoog, the single-bladed mode, is because of the Gyan, specifically because of the movie. When the movies were being released, they decided to retcon the Gyan and not show it in the movies, but they wanted to reuse some assets from the Gyan, specifically the Gundam dodging its thrust attacks. So in doing so, they simply animated Char's Gelgoog being able to have a single blade mode in order to utilize the thrusts.
And the only other mobile suit that has a single bladed mode, at least as far as the video games go, I can tell, is a suit that Amuro would use in Zeta Gundam, the Digi.
I'm sure it's not pronounced Dodge. I swear to God, everyone says Dodge.
Nope, it's the Digi. Even Beltorchka says it within the context of the original anime dub.
I'm still saying Dodge. I think sounds better.
Whatever floats your boat.
Anyway, second fact, and this one revolves around another one of its ace pilots. The sorry, hold on a second. I gotta pause my game. Because Rothfuss is bitch. So for Johnny Reiner, there we go. I'm having a long day, guys. I apologize. Johnny Reiner was such a threat with this fucking machine that the Federation themselves literally said they would give a 2-rank promotion to anyone that would shoot him down during the Battle of Awaku.
Yep.
That's how much of a menace he was with that suit.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
The other fun fact is the Gelgoog itself never really had a good reputation because of the fact that it was released so late into the war that most of its pilots were fresh out of the academy. However, we see later on series like Double Zeta Gundam that a Gelgoog with the proper pilot could go against even current newer models like the Zeta Gundam. It literally took the Double Zeta to bring down the blue team's Gelgoog.
Yep.
That's the fast I have for right now.
Okay. Okay, this one I can actually show off some of the more interesting skills. And we're moving on to the final suit, of which I basically have to bring up a line from the anime for this. Can I really use this mobile suit? Then a Zeong technician comes in, sir, the Zeong's ready for you, it's 100% complete. But this mobile suit doesn't have legs.
Where we're going, we don't need legs.
Well, within the context of this presentation, it does have legs. I figure why not show off the complete version of it from the manga. So that being said, Gundam fans, welcome to the last suit of this demonstration, the perfect Zeong. But I wanted to talk strictly within the context of the anime, to be fair. So anyways, after Lala's death, Char basically had one last weapon he could use against Amuro, and he even questions himself famously, do I have what it takes to pilot this mobile suit? And the Zeong was a pretty nasty toy when Char fielded that thing because he was already skilled enough with it, but this thing had all sorts of tricks that honestly made the Federation wonder, what is that monster? Specifically, what I'm referring to, well, basically, catching these hands. The wire-guided hands that would basically set the template for a lot of future weapons, namely the Incoms. The wired 5-barrel mega particle cannon. That was a bit of a mouthful. And speaking of particle cannons, this one also had one in the head and also in the torso. And as far as the only other weapon that the Zeong had, at least in its complete form, oddly enough is, well, a really big sword. Kind of reminiscent of ones like what the Jin would have in Gundam Seed. But as far as the Zeong itself, like I said, with its incomes and its really high-power weaponry, in fact, I think in terms of beam strength, the Zeong had the strongest beam weaponry at the time of the 1 Year War.
It pretty much did, especially with the fact that a single shot from it could destroy a battleship. And at
I
that
will.
point, the only machine that had a weapon similar to that was the Gundam itself.
Yeah. And honestly, make no mistake, Char definitely. I'm going to say, of all of the suits that Char used, it took the Zeong to finally put the Grandpa Gundam down. Although the funny thing is, Gundam managed to get in a pretty lucky shot and destroyed most of its body, but not its head, to which the head responds. Well, the head was Char, and it responds by blowing off the Gundam's head, leading to the famous phrase, "It's not over, I only lost my main camera." And then, moments after, Gundam lands in a Bawaku searching for the Zeong head, and when he finally finds it, he just lifts the beam rifle up, and in one of the most iconic Gundam anime moments, period, he pulls off the last shooting.
Oh, the last shooting! I have the model display for that. I bought the real grade parts with last shooting parts, so I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
And when the Gundam pulls off its last shot, he manages to successfully destroy the Zeong, but the Zeong also manages to melt the remains of the Grandpa Gundam. Thus, pretty much putting an end to the 1 Year War as far as the main anime goes.
Here's okay, random Xeon fun fact, Xeon events that I know of, which aren't a lot, unfortunately, since there wasn't a lot known about the suit. Uh, it actually has two cockpits, one for if you were for new type pods and one for non-new type pilots. So the Xeon was one of the few new type machines that could be piloted by, well, non-new types.
And within the context of the games, the Zeong doesn't have any. Well, it doesn't have any typical handheld weapons, both for melee or for range in the purest sense. Like, as far as range, this thing technically doesn't have a melee weapon. Like, for some reason, in the Breaker games, you can't just detach a melee weapon on a suit, which honestly really upsets me. I would like the ability to do that with suits like the Destiny Gundam, for example, and not have to equip a second Arendite.
I wish more games did for this Young what the Versus series does. They usually just let it do wired punches.
But within the context of its ranged weaponry, much like a lot of other Xeon suits in this game that don't have handheld weapons, well, it technically has a weapon. Its fingers, because its fingers are basically just, well, beam guns.
Yeah, you know, we'll get into another suit that's famous for being considered underpowered because of this later, even though it really wasn't.
Yeah. As far as the rest of its moves go, well, it's got the large saber if you're using the perfect Zeong parts, which functions as a greatsword. Pretty good reach, all I'm going to say about that. And then as far as its main attacks, well, like I said, it's got the torso mega particle cannon, the head mega particle cannon, which it detaches, and it's kind of a funny moment, the way it's animated, and of course, the incom hands.
I think it was animated way too slowly, detaching the head. It's definitely supposed to be quicker in the context of the actual fight.
And the only thing I can say is if you want to use the mega particle cannon hands, just keep one thing in mind within the context of Gundam Breaker 4. These will prevent any skills related to the hands are being used because, well, you just detached your hands. As weird as this animation looks right here, because it looks like I have another arm for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And with that actually brings the suits from the Gundam anime to a close, especially since I showcased the ones that I couldn't show in Gundam Breaker. So all I can say is, next time, as far as the suits that I will go ahead and showcase, because I've been wanting to empty my blueprints for the longest while, we're going to get into the After Colony suits. Because while Gundam got its start in Japan with the original Gundam, for us Westerners, it came with the Wing Boys.
Yeah, note for anyone wondering if I'm in that video, you probably won't hear me talk much because he has way more to talk about the swing than I do.
At any rate, this has been Phoenix Destiny Kai.
And I'm Maze Vengeance.
Signing off.